So many of you guys are in the exact same position I was just 1 year ago today. You're still in your hometown or you're in the local city that's nearby. You see the same people every single weekend, yet online you see people living the life you dream about. You know you're capable of achieving that dream. The body, the respect, the freedom, the passion to actually go all in on the thing you want to do, yet you don't know how to go about it. I still vividly remember working my previous sales job, hearing people get awarded for being there for 5-10 years, and thinking to myself, surely this cannot be the direction my life is going. I know I can do more, but I have no idea how to actually achieve it. And in this video, I'm going to break down the exact blueprint on how you can get in shape, get the confidence and self-belief to actually leave your hometown and pursue the life of your dreams. And here's the truth, fellas. The first step into changing your life and crafting your own dream reality is not buying a plane ticket to some random country. No, it's building a body that makes you believe you're actually capable of more. Because without this unwavering self-belief, you're not going to be able to achieve anything. See, the current problem with staying in your hometown is that it is uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable enough for you to actually make change. It doesn't demand anything else out of you. So you go to your 9 to 5, you get paid, you get, 4 to 6 grand a month, whatever it is, just enough for you to pay the rent, pay the mortgage, have some food, and maybe save up a couple $100 each month. And then you get 2 weeks off and you go on vacation. See, you are not surrounded by anyone really doing better than you, because all the people that are doing better have already taken that step and gone all in on their true desires and their life. So you're in a position where you're not being pushed by anyone. Everyone else you know around you in your hometown is doing the exact same thing you are. So you have no reason or no other perspective of how to actually push yourself. And if you haven't built a good physique yet, you really have no leverage. You have no options. You have nothing to set you apart from the average man. See, the average guy is in the exact same position, right? Working a 9 to 5, okay physique, maybe goes to the gym a couple times a week, kind of jacked, but not really, kind of out of shape as well. Nothing really stand out because society is built in a way to keep you comfortable. It's almost like modern day slavery. You get enough just to house you, eat, and survive, but you never actually build any skill sets that you can leverage in the future to either meet new people, get around people doing better than you, and have the ability to change your environment. So this is one of the most important things you need to do, is build this physique, because without the physique, you also don't believe that you can actually make change in reality. See, self-belief is literally the most important part of this. You need to become delusional that you are the exception. See, if you want to take on this life, you want to get jacked, that's already 1%. That's already 1% of people that are in incredible shape. Now you want to move across the world, start making money online, pursue your passion. That's even less of the population. If you talk about the entire world, there's probably 0.0001%. But you need to be truly in the full belief that you are the exception and there's no way you can fail. I remember before I left, people were telling me, oh, what if you fail? What if you have to come back? What if it doesn't work out? Because I wasn't making any money online. I had no idea what I was doing. But I truly believed, because I changed reality through my physique. I saw my body change. I knew if I set myself to something, I could see change in reality. That if I stuck to something, I was going to make it work. I was going to break it down, analyze it, figure out a way to move forward. But if I never built a physique, I would never have that belief, but I would never have the structure in my life to actually stick to something long enough to see results. See, building a business and building a physique, they take time, right? Nowadays, with the online scope, the online environment, you can make money actually quite quickly. In 3 months, you can be making 10K pretty consistently. And you see other people that seems like opportunities just arise for them all the time. They're always just progressing and moving forward, and they have unlimited energy. The truth is that they are making those opportunities apparent. They're making those opportunities a possibility. But they don't just show up out of thin air. Like, you're not just going to live an average life and expect exceptional results. You need to make yourself the exception by being exceptional. You need to stick to something. You need to build an exceptional physique. You need to create the aura and energy that you can actually attract these opportunities in your life. And as I said before, it's like you're in sixth gear. You're hitting every single green light on a road, and everything is flowing for you. And the universe starts opening up doors for you when you take this leap with full self-belief. Sometimes in life, you got to take risks. You got to leave everything behind. I'm basically leaving Tutorial Island and actually carving my own path. So we're going on an adventure, to say the least. Core truth as men is that we are designed for risk, and your risk is always going to be rewarded. Think about every single man in history that you hear about. They're all risk takers. The guys who get the Purple Hearts, they do something heroic at war. The guys who first adventured into unknown countries hundreds of years ago, those are the people we hear about. Vikings that explored new land and took over. Those are the stories we hear about because bravery, adventure is what fulfills us as men. Your life is always going to feel dull, and you're always going to have something at the back of your mind eating away at you, telling you you're capable of more and that you need to seek adventure if you do not start looking at risk as the route out of your current existence and where you're actually going to see fulfillment instead of looking at it as scary. Because I was in the exact same position, guys. I had money saved up, but the thought of just moving to a random country and going all in on myself was terrifying. A lot of you guys are probably watching this thinking that I don't know what my purpose is. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to make money online? What am I going to sell? What am I going to do? I don't even know what I want out of life. Your purpose isn't just going to fall in your lap. You need to go out there and take action. I call it taking autistic action. Literally just acquire as many skills as possible. Just keep doing things, keep learning, keep acquiring new things, and eventually you will figure out who you truly are, your authentic self, the thing that really gets you up in the morning, gets you full of drive and excitement, and that is your purpose. But the first step into finding your purpose and taking action is getting your body in shape, because once your body's in shape, your mind follows. And this leads us into the 3 things you absolutely must have before you take this step, and this all starts with the foundation of your body. The first one is the self-belief, and we already covered this, but you need to have unwavering self-belief that you can change reality, right? That you can actually make change in the world and you are capable of sticking to something and seeing results. Now, the second one is agency. Agency is the precursor to action. Before we can even take action, we need the ability to pick something and actually initiate that decision. And this is one of the things I see the most from people I work with one-on-one. See, getting in shape is easy. You don't need more information about how to build a good physique. We already know everything. You don't need another Jeff Nippard video. What you need to do is actually stick to a decision and see the change. But as soon as you make that decision, and I've seen this time and time again, as I said with people I work with, everything starts to cascade. You realize you're not a loser. You realize you are in control of your life. But as soon as you get in the driver's seat and you can actually control it, you are the main character, you are player one, that's where everything changes. And building your physique is the foundation to that. And I've seen it time and time again that as soon as guys make the decision to get in shape, they've had enough of spinning their wheels, trying these TikTok, YouTube diets, and not seeing results. As soon as they know they're actually going to get the carrot at the end and get that physique, and they stick to that decision, everything changes. And the last thing is arrogance. And I don't mean arrogance in a negative way. I mean arrogance in the most positive way possible. Being arrogant as a man is literally the greatest trait you could have. You need to truly believe that you are the exception, that all those other stories of people failing doesn't exist to you. It's not going to happen to you. No way. You're different. That is confidence to its core. You need that unwavering self-belief, the agency to take action, and the arrogance to believe that you are different. And building your physique is the foundation of this. This builds the confidence, the self-belief, the agency, and the arrogance to actually do something like this and go for these risks, rewards, and adventures. And these are the things that will make your life stop feeling dull, right? And the truth is, after my experience of doing this over the last year, you think in the beginning you want to be making the 10, 20, 50K a month. You want to be living in the luxury apartment. That's not what you want. You want the excitement, the risk, the camaraderie of doing it with like-minded individuals, the learning, the skill acquisition. And all of this is just your purpose, right? This is just direction. You know what you need to do every single day. And as men, this is what we yearn for, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt the same way I have. But at a certain age in your 20s, you're like, I should be at war. Like, not literally that you actually want to go to war, but you want that risk, danger, and adventure. And that's what men have always been rewarded for. And this is exactly the feeling you need to harness and embrace to take this step. And now we're going to break down exactly what you need to do over this blueprint to make this change. In this video, I'm not going to go into the full story of what's happened over the last year with my experience, but to give you a quick overview, I basically got to that point. I was in the exact same position you guys were, and I got to the precipice where I knew I couldn't go another day without taking action on the version of myself I wanted to become. So I booked a one-way ticket to Bangkok, Thailand, a country I'd never been before, because I was ready to go all in on myself, start an online business, and put everything on the line. I was willing to risk everything. Left a girl I was in love with, left my family, sold all my belongings, my car. I gave myself no other option but to succeed. And in the last year, I feel like I have lived 10 lifetimes. It's only been a year, but I feel like I've been alive for 100 years and experienced so much. And I want to give you guys the knowledge and experiences that I've gained so you guys can maybe take action on the same thing, because a lot of you guys asked me about this. Now I'm in Bali after moving to Thailand, and we're going to break down exactly how you can do something similar. All right, the first few steps are really simple. Number one, you need to get in shape. As I said, this is the foundation, and your mind is going to follow. Without that self-belief, arrogance, and agency, I've seen so many guys who genuinely they are not in shape. They end up having to go home, and they do fail because they get lost in the sauce. When you move to these countries, it's going to most likely be cheaper. You're going to have more opportunities to take that risk and reward, but you end up spending it in different places rather than folks spending that risk on yourself, investing in yourself, becoming the best version of yourself. You go for cheap dopamine, drugs, partying, girls, and next thing you know, you've blown all your money. So you need to get your body in shape. Get to 10%. Get in the best shape of your life, 10 to 12% body fat. Have your mindset dialed in and make the gym, your diet, and your habits non-negotiables. And this is what is going to be your foundation, because when you go and embark on this journey, there's only two feelings you're going to feel, right? When you go all in on yourself, you're taking all these risks, maybe you're trying to make money online, you're going to feel euphoria and fear. And I got this from Founders Podcast, but it's literally the only two things you feel. You're going to have high highs and low lows, and you need something that's going to keep you stable regardless of what's happening in your life, regardless of the circumstances. You are still stable and you still have direction. This is really, really important. Number two is your presence. So you need to learn to speak with complete conviction. The only way you're going to do this is being really sure about who you are. Now, this is going to be difficult before you actually take that jump, but what I recommend you do is really sit in a dark room, and I talk about this a lot, is sit in a room, write down your beliefs, your values, what you want out of life, your identity, like what do you actually believe? All of us are unique, we all have different experiences, and this is going to shape how you see the world. So write down your perspective and be ready to say things with complete conviction. No one likes the guy that sits on the fence, right? I like a guy that's a bit extreme. He has his own beliefs. He has his own ideas. Even if I don't agree with them, I could completely disagree. I respect a man who knows what he thinks. And this leads into the third thing, is networking. And I don't really like this term because networking kind of gives like a fake business interaction. We both kind of get something out of this. But when you have the physique and the presence and you speak with conviction, you're going to be having a lot easier time meeting high-level guys, because that is immediately respected. Guys who take risks, guys who take care of themselves and respect themselves, automatically you're going to open a lot of opportunities and doors to meet guys that are above you or on the same level, and that's exactly who you need to be around. You never want to be around guys that are below you, or they have negative energy. They don't believe in themselves. They don't take care of themselves. Maybe they have terrible habits. Maybe they drink and, sleep around with questionable women, little demons. You don't want to be around that type of energy, because the truth is, and this is a cliche, but you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You need to get in rooms and meet guys that are above you. And the best way to do that and to network with these individuals is become someone they want to network with. And your physique and your presence and your conviction when you speak is literally the best tool you could ever use. You could be making $0 like I was when I moved out there, but I immediately got in those rooms and started having conversations, became friends with these people because of my physique and presence, because you have potential. People know you could stick to something. People see all the traits that you get from having a physique and they go, okay, this guy is serious. He's not going to be one of the guys that parties, does drugs, and then ends up having to go home. And it'll set you apart a ton. But the truth is, I'm going to keep this really brief with networking. You need to make sure you are networking, but the truth is with networking, you don't want to be trying to gain things out of other people. You want to genuinely be someone other people want to meet, and you want to genuinely want to meet that person and realistically what's going to happen is you're going to become friends, and then the business stuff will come later, and you guys will just share your own experiences, lessons, what you've learned, how you won this, how you lost here, and that's how you're going to learn. But you never want to go into it like, oh, I'm going to talk to this guy about, his system, because it just turns everyone off, and that's not really how these conversations ever go. So we got the basics down, right? Physique, presence, networking, basically communicating with other people that are like you. Now we got to talk about the environment. You have to choose the location you want to live, and the truth is the location isn't that important, right? You are basically burning your old identity and creating a new one. So wherever you go, it's just going to be lessons. There's going to be high highs and low lows. As I said before, you're going to get tons of experiences. You're going to mess up a lot, but you're also going to have tons of wins. And it's going to feel like, as I said, a month is going to feel like a year. You're going to live a ton of lifetimes in a short period of time. But I obviously recommend is going somewhere low cost of living, because if you have low overhead, you have less things to worry about, right? You can actually focus on improving yourself. Places like Thailand, Vietnam, Bali's another great one. South America, Colombia. These are all great places where you're going to meet guys on the same journey as you. So you're going to be able to do step 3, which is networking, and be around those types of people. And you're going to have low overheads. You don't have as much to worry about. You can get cheap food, you can get high quality food, and you can do the things you want on a daily basis without stressing all the time and using too much of your mental bandwidth about money. The best piece of advice I can give you when you are picking your new location is never sign a long-term lease. This is probably the biggest mistake I made when I moved to Bangkok. Is first I started off with a 12-month lease, and honestly, I really did not connect well with that environment. I'm not a big city type of guy. I like risk. I like adventure. I want to ride motorcycles. I want to run outside in a field, and living in a big city just really made me feel cooped up all the time. And honestly, it really threw off my energy. So never sign a long-term lease. Start out by doing Airbnb. Try a place for 2-3 months. And then if it's not a good fit, you now have the option to just leave and do what you want. Right? You are in control now. And that's one of the first things you're going to realize. You can literally just do whatever you want on a daily basis. Your life is, you are not being told what to do. No one is holding you accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable. And that's why, as we said before, the foundation, the discipline, the structure in your day is all about your physique. If you don't keep that, everything starts falling apart. And I'll do a full breakdown of Thailand, Bali comparisons, what's good, what's bad, where I think you guys should move on your first excursion. But it's all going to be dependent on what you want out of your life, the people you want to be around. There's tons of other cities that are smaller. They're less of these kind of hubs that everyone goes to, that you could have a great experience and really make your own. And I think that's honestly the future of doing this kind of decision. And I'll make a video on that. But lastly, really important, you need to now take action. It's all well and dandy to have all these ideas and have all these things you're thinking about all the time. Maybe you're writing them down and you're going, I'm going to do this. You start telling people and start getting the dopamine from saying you're going to do it. And I did this for a long time as well. But when things really change is when you book that ticket. Book it 3 to 6 months in advance and start stacking cash. You want to have 3 to 6 months of expenses, so if things go completely tits up, at least you have a little breathing room to actually make some cash, get some money coming in, and then you can stay on this adventure and really start crafting your own lane, your own life, and own reality. You got the ticket book, you know where you're going, you have a plan in place, and you're starting to stack some cash and some expenses. Now, what you need to understand is when you make this move and you start building this momentum, opportunities are going to arise like crazy. But it's really important before you go out there, you need some way to make money online. You need some avenue. And I honestly recommend, if you're a young guy, you're ambitious and driven, get into sales, high ticket sales, solar sales, remote closing, appointment setting, literally anything. It's going to work on your communication. You get freedom. You still kind of have a boss, but your hours are when you want, and you can live anywhere in the world. That's probably the easiest route, but just pick something. Realistically, the reason why that 3 to 6 month period before you leave is so important is you need to know that you can actually do it. So you need to reaffirm that this is possible, but you're going to have to learn a new skill. Right? It's like, look at this as your tuition. Instead of going to college for 4 years, you invest in a mentor, you do a course online, but you figure out a way to make money, you pick that lane, and you can always pivot it down the road, and you can always expand on it. Maybe you create your own offer for a problem, or for a problem that you can solve for other people, but you need to just pick something. and just stick to it for 3 to 6 months and accept that in the beginning it's going to feel like you're failing, then all of a sudden you're going to understand how to actually do it. And then once we make that decision, this is all about momentum. We need to start stacking more skills. You do not want to pigeonhole yourself. You got to think this online space is new. And this is kind of my own philosophy on it, but this online space is completely new. It's changing rapidly, and I believe that the best thing you can do is keep momentum in your life and take action and just keep acquiring skills. So if you're, for example, doing some type of coaching, maybe you should learn how to do e-com. Maybe you should learn how to trade. I think that once you have things flowing, you should just keep stacking skills. It's going to make you a more valuable asset to other people. It's going to make you more interesting. You're going to have more experiences. You're going to have more knowledge. And all these things end up blending together. And even if you don't use them immediately, they could help you grow your current business as well. And every single decision you make should be an investment into yourself or a bet on yourself that you are going to succeed. I always recommend invest in yourself and aura. Aura is literally the best thing you can ever invest in. Get a better body, get haircuts frequently, get nicer clothes. This is all just how you present yourself and how you take care of yourself, and it really does make a huge difference in the opportunities that open for you in the universe. And always take action on the things you want to do. For example, I've told this before, but I really wanted a motorcycle for a decade. As soon as I did it, I felt so good and fulfilled and excited every single day that I took action on this thing I've always wanted to do. But every decision should push you further away from your old identity and closer to your ideal state in the future. The truth is, your hometown, your government, your body, society is not the problem. The problem is you've been waiting for a decision to fall into your lap rather than building leverage so you can start making decisions on your own and taking action. That is the issue. And you need to start taking accountability for your own life and start going all in on yourself. And if you're ready to actually build that leverage, build the foundation of success so you can have the self-belief, confidence, arrogance that you are capable of taking on this journey, click the link below, book a call with me. We'll have a consult. We'll talk about where you're currently at, where you're trying to get to, and how we can change your life and your physique and confidence like we've done for so many people.